Welcome to Sew Very Easy. My name is Laura, and today I'd like to talk about the magic of a sewing machine needle. Now, for every fabric out there, there is a needle that's going to make that sewing so much fun. But sometimes we need a resource to help us with the needles. And I have a great resource where we're going to be able to look at why our stitches are skipping, gives us information like that, but will also give us information on what needle to use with what fabric. And as a little added bonus, I'm going to share with you how I store my needles, and I'll show you how I made it. This one little piece of metal can really make a difference in our sewing. Even though the needles look the same at a quick glance, they are all designed different. They're designed for different applications and different fabrics. Schmetz Needle Company does have a website and an app that's going to help us choose the needle for the project and actually helps us figure out what is going wrong if something is happening. So let me go to the computer and I'm going to show you some of the things that are actually on that website. I think you're going to find it a wealth of information. So if we go to schmetzneedle.com, we're going to get to a home page that looks like this. This is where we're going to get some great information. Home sewing needles, lots of information. Industrial, tools, notions, and resources. So we could buy our needles there and get information right from that area. But my favorite part is going into this resources. Now with the resources, we can click on any of these and get some information there. And these are downloadable. We have a newsletter. This picture is an actual pocket guide that you're able to get. So it's going to give you all of the information that is in that pocket guide. We can also get a color chart. We can download that and keep it right with our sewing machine needles. So the color system works as this top band gives us what type of needle it is, stretch needle, jersey, and so on. That bottom band will give us the needle size. This is definitely easier on the eyes than trying to read that little printing. The other thing with resources is this free web app. So if we click on that, we can go right here, click on that, and it's going to give you directions on how to save this to your computer, save it to your phone, save it to your tablet, whatever you would like. But when you do get that app, it's going to give you this type of information. It's going to give you that color chart, but it's also going to give us needles by fabric. So we can click on that, and now we can search for what we are going to be sewing with. If you're sewing with cork, it tells you what needle that would be recommended. And you can go right to those needles. It also gives us the needles by the thread type. So if you have a particular thread that you're using, you're going to be able to click on that thread and get right to the company, which gives you information from their websites. If we continue to scroll down, we have all of this additional information, and a lot of these things are downloadable and printable. Continue going down, it also gives us a quick glance at some of the problems that we often occur when we are sewing. Why is my stitches being skipped? It gives us information. Why is my bobbin thread breaking? So we're going to be able to go in, and this just gives us some information to help us so that we have the right needle, the right tension, how to solve the problems that we have in order to make our sewing, well, so very easy. This is definitely a great resource to have. I have this as an app. I have it on my computer, and if you go above, you're going to be able to save that on a toolbar. That's really handy, so it's always available. So that app really is an amazing thing. You can also get an ABC guide, and it gives us a lot of what is on that computer in a book format. And if you can get your hands on one of these, it's definitely a great thing to have. Now, I like to store my needles in a little bit of a different system. I have a box system. This is a 7.5-inch wooden box. I picked it up at the dollar store, I painted it, and I decorated it. In it, I have everything I need to change my needle. Schmidt's Needle does have a My Pad, and they do have a new version of it with all the new needles out. So this little system is very, very simple to use. There's a flower head pin in this My Pad, and that is used to mark what is in your machine. I just happened to replace it with this fancy needle that was given to me. So it works like this. What needle do you have in your machine? You're going to take that pin and put it there. Now there's no guessing what is in my machine. It tells us what is there. These extra spots are for the needles that have been used but are still good. There are lots of times that I will just need to use that needle just for a minute or two. So I don't want to put it back in the package because it's the next needle that I'd like to use again. So I put it back into its appropriate slot. In the bottom of my box, I have my sewing machine needles. I have a container where I put my old needles in. I have some cleaning supplies, my oil, my needle threader. When I do need to change a needle, I take that opportunity to give my machine a little bit of a clean. And the toothbrush is just to clean those teeth. Now, I have had this for a long time. It works out great and it's safe. But for you to make one, we are just needing a wooden box. This My Pad is just a little bit under a 7-inch square. So what shape we're going to look for is anything that this is going to fit into. So this particular box, I did just pick up at the dollar store. It's a 7.5-inch square box. So my Pad is going to fit right in the top. You could have a long one and it's going to fit in the top, even a large circular one. We just need somewhere to put that. And I like it in the top, and I glue it in the top. You can use a hot glue gun or any type of good adhesive that's going to put that down. Then I'm able to put what I need in the bottom here. If you have one of those guides, that's great. I can put my needle packages in there, some of my cleaning tools, a needle threader, whatever I need can stay right in here. So this was just a plain wooden box from the craft store. I painted it so it looks nice, and now I have a safe spot for my needles and my cleaning tools. So this little box system works out great for me. It protects the needles so that little paws or little hands cannot get hold of them. And when we close it up, we know exactly where everything's going to be. And it looks nice. You could decorate it in many different ways. Thank you for joining me today on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I have a newsletter all under Sew Very Easy. Thanks again. Bye for now.